3, and here we are at 157. Number 13, Collin Heffernan taking on the redshirt freshman BC Laprade. Heffernan, a two-time NCAA qualifier. 3-1 on the year. His only loss on the season was to Josh Shields of Arizona State at the Michigan State Open.
And how about BC Laprade's performance? He was not starting to begin the year and ended up with a major decision on Friday against Chattanooga. And he has come on well after Ryan Blease started against Stanford in the first duel of the season. And he has been nothing but great for Virginia Tech.
And Ryan Blease actually in the wrestle-off beat BC Laprade pretty badly. And then after the injury, BC Laprade came in against Chattanooga, able to wrestle very well and get the major decision. Laprade, a two-time Virginia State champion. Back in the New Kent High School wrestling program headed by Mike Foss and John Goodbody. An early test for Laprade because he's facing off against Heffernan, an established collegiate wrestler, where Virginia Tech's BC Laprade has not been tested really in affiliated matches as of yet. Just his first season, actually his third season on campus, came in as a gray shirt. Shot for Laprade, trying to finish. Looking for the trip. And Heffernan able to swim out.
Heffernan 30-9 a year ago. Went to the NCAAs, went 1-2. But he's a guy that will rack up points. He led the Chippewas in takedowns a year ago. And a critical juncture here. This is a match that Central Michigan probably chalked up as they were going through as a victory, and everything's been chalk so far. Actually, a little bit of the toss-up with Shisco winning. And Central Michigan can ill afford to fall behind with 3 top 10 wrestlers for the Hokies still on the board.
Well, Heffernan almost got the takedown there, and BC Laprade able to just squeak out with under 40 seconds remaining in this first period. Seen a little bit more aggression here in this 157 bout, Kevin, than we did in the previous 4 matches.
Yeah, each of the previous 4 have been sort of feeling each other out, low-scoring affairs. Just being very passive in their starts, just trying to figure out exactly what they're going to do, and that has gone in the Hokies' favor thus far.
No, just 6 seconds. Well, despite all that aggression we saw in the first period from both wrestlers, no points. 0-0. Laprade deferring. And Heffernan starting on bottom. Almost a mat return for Laprade. An escape for Heffernan to take the lead, 1-0. Primarily the shots have been taken by the Hokie wrestler. And you see one right there from Heffernan, could not finish.
It's been interesting to see with these past couple matches, ranked Central Michigan wrestlers have not been the aggressors more often than not. We saw that a bit with Oliver, didn't really work out for him in the last match, and now Heffernan needing to get it going to try and get his team on the board again.
Heffernan looking for a leg. Under a minute. Well, the referee Channing to work center. And Laprade throws off Heffernan, going back to the middle of the circle in neutral. 35 seconds. And with under 10 seconds, will Heffernan or Laprade make a move? Neither will. Third period. Here we go. Laprade chooses down. A tight match for an unranked opponent against the number 13 wrestler at 157 in the country.
That's what we've seen time and time again in this match. It's come down to who gets the first takedown more often than not.
Good mat return for Heffernan. Laprade back on his feet. Fighting off the hands, he'll start out on bottom after 20 seconds elapsed in the third period. Only point came from an escape, and Laprade ties it up 1-1. And Heffernan with only 17 seconds of riding time, so not a factor at all. Shot for Laprade. Heffernan pushes off. Now under a minute remaining, we'll have another match that will likely come down to the final ticks. "35 seconds.
We saw Shisco in the last match go for a takedown right at the end. Somebody's going to have to make a maneuver here in the final 20 seconds or we go to sudden victory.
Now with 15 seconds remaining, Heffernan with a slight move and Laprade slides away. 10 on the clock. Three seconds, ripped down. And there'll be an extra period. No challenges this time. Sudden victory.
It's amazing how all of a sudden you go to sudden victory and the aggression all of a sudden picks up.
BC Laprade hoping for the shot and Heffernan able to get out. Looking for two. Laprade pulls off the upset.
What a great move by Laprade. After 7 minutes, each wrestler getting an escape point. Laprade, a huge upset win to knock off the number 13 wrestler, and a heck of a weekend for BC Laprade.
Going into the 165 bout, David McFadden taking on Logan Parks. Bailey Engel, Kevin Burke, happy to have you with us here at Castle Coliseum on this Sunday. McFadden, number 5 in the country, the redshirt sophomore from West Milford, New Jersey. You talk about a long ways to get here. In his freshman season, just jumped onto the scene for Virginia Tech. And a huge win against Iowa State. McFadden was an All-American in his first year, playing or wrestling affiliated. Was ACC Freshman of the Year. And then tore his ACL en route to getting to that All-American notion back in 2016 at the NCAA tournament. Now he's back after that redshirt season was spent back in 2017. But here he is now facing off against Logan Parks. McFadden 9-0, Parks 2-2. Just coming off of a win against Michigan State.
And for McFadden, you could tell he has been itching to get back on the mat, and all he's done is come out and just been dominant. Like you said, Bailey, 9-0, which includes 2 major decisions and 2 tech falls already, including a win over the number 4 wrestler in the nation of Chandler Rogers at Oklahoma State at the Journeyman. That was a solid performance, and now McFadden already back into the top 5 and taking on an unranked wrestler in Logan Parks, who will try to do what BC Laprade just did for the Hokies.
Well, Logan Parks, just 4 matches wrestled this year. And a face-off against a ranked opponent in Logan Massa of Michigan was majored 21-10. Well, Parks hoping for 2. And a stalemate. Minute 15 remaining in the first period. Parks coming out of Taylor, Michigan. Almost a shot for McFadden. Bringing him to the mat. McFadden with his toes in bounds. Still no points. Now they'll return to the mat in neutral.
Yeah, Parks slid off the edge, forcing them to return back to the middle.
Another shot for McFadden. 35 seconds remaining in the first period. For a rare takedown that we haven't seen in the first period of these previous matches.
Yeah, this is more what we expected from these nationally ranked wrestlers against unranked guys, is being the aggressor. And McFadden's the first one to do that.
Oh, Parks tipping him out of bounds. The Central Michigan crowd eating that up.
Yeah, Tom Borelli really pleased with that effort by Parks, who, as you said, comes in with a bit of momentum after winning his bout against Michigan State on Friday.
A stall warning on Logan Parks. 5 seconds. Another scoreless first period. Logan Parks with choice to begin the second. He defers his choice. Now McFadden choosing to start bottom after Parks defers.
Yeah, a lot of deferments so far today. Just shows how tightly and evenly matched these two teams are. But we've seen a lot of easy escapes for both sides at the beginning of periods.
McFadden able to escape. Takes the 1-0 lead. And the wrestlers on the hard court.
They're going right after each other. Not a lot of room off the edge.
No, not at all. Parks trying for his shot, but McFadden just slapped away. Another shot for Parks. McFadden with a leg. Trying to corral Parks for 2. He'll get it. 3-0.
Parks allowed to escape. But it looks like McFadden was allowing him to do it, trying to get more points in this one.
No riding time, not a factor at all. McFadden looking for near fall points. 2 more for the Hokie, 5-1 lead. Now the riding time starting to add up. Right over 20 seconds now. Hokies up 12-3. Only match won by a Chippewa, and this one has been at 141. Almost near fall points for McFadden.
And they'll give him 2.
7-1. The New Jersey native leads over Logan Parks. And the Virginia Tech crowd loving that. Tony Roby as well.
Tom Borelli for Central Michigan on the other side is up and out of his seat. Not pleased with what he deems a very quick pair of points.
Oh, Roby on the other side, comfortably sitting down. Mark spreading out, hoping for a switch. McFadden ending that.
He's got the minute of riding time now.
Now the riding time ends at 1:04. 7-2 lead after the escape by Parks. Now in crunch time in the third period after McFadden has accumulated a 5-point lead that could add up to 6 after riding time. Powering through, looking for another takedown. McFadden finds it. 9-2. Now that minute could be a major. A reminder, the team score, Hokies lead 12-3. Every point matters, especially with a tougher match for Virginia Tech coming up at 174. Escape for Parks. "30 seconds. Tony Roby and Frank Molinaro chanting from the sideline. Tech fans want 2. McFadden delivers.
That puts it in major territory.
11-3 plus the minute and 30 seconds. That'll give a point to McFadden at the end of the match of riding time with 4.2 seconds remaining.
If this holds, McFadden will get his 3rd major decision this season already. 3 major decisions and 2 tech falls already for the redshirt sophomore.
So David McFadden with another win for Virginia Tech. A major decision puts the Hokies up 16-3 after riding time was added on to that 11-4 score. Another confident jog off for the Hokies. And now going back to 174, it's a freshman, Hunter Bolin. He'll face off against a senior in CJ Brucki, the number 12 wrestler in the country at 174.
Yeah, this is once again one of the matches where Central Michigan assumed to have the advantage. But we saw at 157 with BC Laprade able to upset the number 13 wrestler, and that's what Hunter Bolin will try to do here.
Oh, Brucki actually coming off of a loss that was deemed an upset. Austin Hiles got the better of him in the last duel against Michigan State. Now Central Michigan went on to win that duel anyway. But Brucki 2-2 after losing 2 in a row. Now Hunter Bolin, a guy from Christiansburg, Virginia, just about 15 minutes down the road, which was really a pipeline for Virginia Tech wrestling in the past few years. Devin Carter, Joey Dance, Zach Epperly, all from Christiansburg High School, which was something that Kevin Dresser tapped into. And Bolin was a 3-time state champ just down the road.
It all started with Dresser himself coming from Christiansburg High School to basically reignite this program. And now Dresser over at Iowa State. But yeah, it's sort of something where it's easy for folks from Christiansburg High School to come down here to Blacksburg. And Bolin's a guy that was in the stands and saw guys, like you mentioned, wrestle from Christiansburg and then come out here in the maroon and orange and do that. It's a pipeline. That's the best way to describe what Christiansburg High School has become to Virginia Tech.
Minute 30. Well, Bolin at 3-2 actually was one of the 2 losses in the match against Chattanooga.
And his only other loss this season was to a nationally ranked wrestler from Stanford in the opener, but he already got 2 pins of his other 3 wins.
Takedown, Brucki. Trying to add up the riding time. A takedown in the first period. And Bolin just trying to fight his way out, back down after a takedown from Brucki. On his feet. Almost gave it to him. And the referee said that there was still a hold, but there it is. Bolin on the board at 2-1. Nearing the edge of the mat. Now they'll return to the middle. Going into the second period, just a 2-1 lead for C.J. Brucki. Guy coming out of Orland Park, Illinois. Bolin chooses bottom. So a 16-3 lead in the duel for Virginia Tech after the major decision victory by David McFadden.
Yeah, any victory here and basically wraps up the dual meet for Virginia Tech.
Just 3 matches remaining.
Not necessarily. Did the math wrong, but it'd be
Still
pretty
incredibly.
It would have to be 3 pins or 3 tech falls, and you still have 2 top 10 wrestlers for the Hokies after this.
Bolin on his feet. Brucki able to bring him right back down to the mat. Spinning out, escape Bolin.
It's the most helter-skelter action we've seen today. Bolin doing a good job of not getting frustrated by the original attempt not working out. Kept the perseverance going and was able to get the tying point. There is riding time, though, 117 in favor of the Chips.
Now, C.J. Brucki, now that it is tied up at 2-2, still, like you said, a point would be awarded at the end of the match. Bolin with a chance to do that. Stall warning. Now Brucki with a leg searching for a takedown. Bolin with a leg now, hoping to trip. Bouncing near the edge of the mat. 14 seconds. Now 8 seconds. Nothing going still. Brucki spreading out. Well, a tumultuous end to that period, Kevin. I mean, Bolin had him blocked up. Brucki's bouncing around, and they're able to just fight each other off going into this third period, tied at 2-2. But another reminder, riding time a factor, and it's in favor of Brucki.
So if you're Bolin here, knowing you have to hold on for at least 20 seconds or so.
Caution on Hunter Bolin.
Get 20 seconds to get underneath the riding time. And also, I mean, there's the potential for the escape point here.
Caution on Bolin and a couple of quick words. Still knotted up, 2-2. Escape Brucki.
That's really well done by the nationally ranked Brucki. So now if you're Bolin, you got to find a takedown somewhere.
Oh, Brucki at number 12 in the country with a minute 9 of riding time and also up 3-2. Bolin holding on, trying for 2. Would really effectively tie the match up, but instead, Brucki fighting back. Back to neutral.
This match has had the most activity out of anyone we've seen thus far today.
Just about a minute remaining. Now with 45 seconds, Brucki seemed to be in control. Tipping Bolin. Chishko and Gustafson on the side. It's a tough match for their teammate. Here's Bolin. 20 seconds. Riding time a factor. If he gets 2, would inevitably be tied at the end of the match. Still looking for 2. He's got it. Brucki fighting back. He's got it, a reversal. And a heartbreaking end for Hunter Bolin. C.J. Brucki, though, narrowly escapes. And Central Michigan gets a few points back. It's 16-6, still Hokies on top.
What a reversal by Brucki. Seemed like he was destined for sudden victory. And Brucki, the senior, needing the points and got them. That's a big win and our second buzzer beater of the day in what has been a highly entertaining bout.
This time the buzzer beater favors Central Michigan, Kevin.
And no review needed for that.
No review needed. Ellingwood.
Ellingwood 9th in the nation. Zavatsky 7th in the nation. The Hokies have already won the previous top 10 matchup.
Zavatsky 7-2. Ellingwood 3-1. It's Ellingwood's second time ever facing off against a Virginia Tech Hokie. Lost to Zack Epperly back in 2014, 5-2. Zavatsky getting by Bryce Carr and sudden victory in the match against Chattanooga. It's a 2-time NCAA qualifier, a 2-time ACC champ, while Ellingwood has made it to the big tournament 3 times. 3-time qualifier nationally.
Hard to believe they haven't matched up against one another.
Right, absolutely.
Ellingwood, a MAC champion 2 years ago, went 3rd last season in the MAC. And was 3rd as a freshman. Whereas Zavatsky, as you said, has not lost much. 57-13 in his career, but his last 2 matches have gone to sudden victory. Lost in sudden victory to Lehigh's Ryan Price, who's ranked 6th in the nation. And then beat number 12 Bryce Carr back on Friday. Ellingwood coming off a pin against Michigan State on Friday.
Ellingwood wins here. Central Michigan certainly right back into it to try to win this duel. Only down 16-6. And Jared Haught at 197, the number 2 wrestler in the country. That'll be tough for Jordan Atienza, but it's really a free-for-all at 285. Back to this match, though. Zavatsky finds 2. Mature junior from Latrobe, Pennsylvania.
Zavatsky, a guy that usually looking to add bonus points to your team. A major decision, a tech fall, and 2 pins already this season. 70 career matches, and 23 of them have ended up in bonus points.
Well, 2-0 Zavatsky. 40 seconds on the clock here in the first period. And Ellingwood back on his feet. Scampers out for an escape. That's it for the first period. Going into the second, as expected, we have another tight matchup here between 2 top 10 opponents. Second time we've seen a top 10 matchup today, and going back to that 149 match, Kevin, that was really something to remember with Solomon Chisco going down, gets the takedown against Justin Oliver right there at the end, and then they have to go to the booth to review it.
Yep, having originally not called, and Tony Roby having to throw in his challenge. The referee, once he figured it out, after review, awarding the 2 points after the match to Virginia Tech, avoiding a sudden victory type of situation, which we've already had. We've really had 3 matches decided at the end with 1 sudden victory, 1 a reversal with 2 seconds left, and 1 at the monitor. So despite the team score being in favor of the Hokies, it has been bang-bang more often than not.
Riding time a factor for Zach Zavatsky. 1:20. Here's Ellingwood, though. Escape for Ellingwood. Makes it 2-2, but once again, riding time still is going to be knotted up at the end of the match if Ellingwood is not able to take 27 seconds away from Zach Zavatsky.
That'll be his mission, assuming he will take bottom to begin the third period.
Both of these guys trying to get back to the NCAA tournament and finally get an All-American notion, which has escaped Zach Zavatsky as well as Jordan Ellingwood.
Yeah, Zavatsky, 2-time ACC champion, but no All-Americans to show for it at the NCAA tournaments.
Ellingwood hoping for 2. Brings Zavatsky down, spins out, and he gave it to him.
And here comes another challenge from Tony Roby.
Confidently throwing that out. He's got good form. He has not hesitated to throw that green bar out.
1 for 1 today. I mean, you get it back if you're correct, but you lose it if you don't get it correct. And he was confident with Chisco. And we'll see if the replay goes in the Hokies' favor as we get another look at it.
Ellingwood going down. Zavatsky spinning out. That's very close.
The question is whether or not he was obviously still in bounds when it happened.
And also, Zavatsky still able to roll out. There's never really any control. Now, the second review we have seen today, Hokies up 16-6 in the score in the duel. After C.J. Brucki just took down Hunter Bolin right at the end of the match. As it stands right now, it'll be a takedown for Jordan Ellingwood. And we'll have the results. And it will stay there. Ellingwood keeps the takedown and the 2 points, and there goes Tony Roby's challenge. He's batting .500 with those challenges today. Of course, the other one a little bit more dramatic.
And now he's out of them for the final 2+ matches.
Zavatsky with an escape.
He's still got that riding time point in his pocket right now. So basically even.
Clock ticking down. Headed into the third period, a 4-3 lead for Jordan Ellingwood. Zavatsky still with riding time. 1:18 to be exact accumulated. So if Ellingwood is able to ride out here, about 20 seconds, it will no longer be a factor.
And if you're Zavatsky, get out in the first 20 seconds or 4 seconds before I can finish the sentence.
Absolutely. Did not hesitate to do that. Tied up at 4-4. Shot for Zavatsky. Fighting his way for 2. 6-4 Zavatsky. Now the riding time starting to tick up even higher. Now at 1:30. Rick Molinaro and Ty Walls both on the side. Under a minute left. Ellingwood with time running out.
Yeah, and basically a 3-point lead here with riding time all over for Zavatsky.
Now at 30 seconds, out of bounds. A stall warning on Zavatsky with 25 seconds. 2 minutes of riding time for Zavatsky plus a 2-point lead.
Ellingwood somehow has to find 3 points, like you said.
Won't find it there. 18 seconds. Spinning away. Zavatsky still in control.
In both top 10 matches, go to the Hokies.
Zach Zavatsky with a 7-4 victory over Jordan Ellingwood. Makes the score 19-6. With 2 matches remaining, the Hokies are in control. So Jared Haught and Jordan Atienza just about ready to wrestle. Just before that 197 bout, we're going to take a break. Hokies lead 19-6 here on ACC Network Extra. Hokies win over Jordan Ellingwood sends us into the Jared Haught-Jordan Atienza match with the Hokies leading 19-6. Bailey Engel and Kevin Burke, it's been a pleasure to have you with us here on ACC Network Extra. Central Michigan taking on Virginia Tech, and the Hokies have wrapped up this duel. With 2 matches remaining, they lead by 13. So even with 2 pins, Central Michigan would win, or Virginia Tech would win by 1. It's also very hard to pin a guy like Jared Haught, number 2 wrestler at 197 in the country. 5-0, the redshirt senior from Parkersburg, West Virginia.
A guy that really has turned his career around. You look as a freshman, he was under 500. In dual play, struggled 6-10, but ever since then, he has only dropped 3 dual meets in the last 2 seasons. ACC champ, All-American, And he's a scholar athlete, two-time All-American, but last year winning the ACC and off to a 5-0 start this season. Only one bonus point out there, one major decision.
Well, Atienza on the flip side for Central Michigan, hoping for an upset. 7-2, a junior from Livonia, Michigan. He's actually won 4 matches in a row. One of his 2 losses was against a ranked opponent in Kevin Beasley of Michigan. And a stalemate returns the wrestlers back to the middle of the circle.
This is a guy in Atienza that is way up from where he was before. Last year, wrestled at 174. As a freshman, was at 165. So up a couple weight classes and facing the number 2 wrestler in the nation. This will be his strongest challenge for sure thus far this year for Atienza.
One of your Tom Borelli and the Central Michigan Chippewas. It's a very hard trip coming into Blacksburg, but something that really tests your team going on throughout the rest of the season.
Absolutely, putting himself in a good position, as we said at the onset. You see it more often than not, taking on big-time teams. You see top 25 programs come about, and these schools will see each other again at the Las Vegas Invite in a couple weeks. So there may be these matchups again out in Vegas.
So almost a shot and a takedown for Jared Haught, but Atienza squirmed his way out back up to neutral. Well, with 45 seconds, we have a scoreless first period. "30 seconds. Haught still searching for that first point. 5 seconds. And another scoreless first period. Haught won and chose down. But not a deference we have seen for so much of this duel already.
Yeah, and for Haught, he wants to be the aggressor. Trying to get the easy escape point like that, and then start taking advantage of Atienza, new to the weight class.
Haught scrambling after he already escaped. With spin drill ending in a standstill. Well, a technical violation. Awarding a point to Jared Haught. The sprawl out for Haught. So Atienza hoping for a big upset, but it's going to be tough against Jared Haught, especially as he's able to dump there. Looking for back points. 2 for Haught. Atienza back on his stomach. 4-0 in favor of the West Virginia native.
That was almost disaster for Atienza. So close to back points for Haught. But now he can just start riding this out and start accumulating points, but knowing Haught, he may let Atienza go if he starts getting out of this initial position.
Well, 40 seconds left here in this second period, and Atienza hoping to channel something that we saw earlier on in the match. Big upset today. BC Laprade taking down Collin Heffernan, the 157, ranked at number 13 in the country. Laprade winning in sudden victory.
And if you look at it, Central Michigan, 5 ranked wrestlers, 2-3, including losing both top 10 matches and then the upset with Laprade.
Those really were killer, especially with that Solomon Chischko match coming right down to the final review. And that really set the tone for the rest of this duel as Jared Haught is now in the bonus for riding time going into the third period.
Yeah, ever since then, the only loss was Hunter Bolin to CJ Brucki, who got a reversal at the buzzer. So it's been Virginia Tech from the start. Really only one match that the Hokies have not been a factor in. That was at 141 where 20th ranked Mason Smith had his way with Brent Moore, but still only didn't get major points out of it.
Well, the only major was David McFadden taking on Logan Parks. Well, the 2 wins on the day for Central Michigan. Dresden Simon, or rather Mason Smith, beating Brent Moore, and then CJ Brucki coming down to the final seconds against an unranked freshman in Hunter Bolin. Haught in control with 1 minute and 36 seconds remaining. So Haught now with almost 2 minutes of riding time, something that we can kind of expect with a guy that is physically able to dominate so many of his opponents, likely to move on to 6-0 on the year, unless Atienza is able to work some magic with about 1 minute left in the match. So the next duel for Central Michigan, as Atienza is able to scramble out, won't be until December 8th against South Dakota State. We'll hit the road again to go to Brookings, South Dakota. Jared Haught with another takedown, letting Atienza up.
Yeah, in fact, Central Michigan, no more home duels or even home events until MAC play begins in January. So Tom Borelli's team going to be hitting the road a lot. Vegas, South Dakota State, North Dakota State, Northern Illinois, and then Purdue and SIUE.
8-2, Jared Haught. 2 minutes of riding time, so that is effectively 9-2. Hoping for a pin. Atienza tilting. Back points going towards Jared Haught. Four points awarded to Haught.
So he adds up at the end what was pretty even most of the match. Haught shows why he's number 2 in the nation. Dominant final total.
13-2, major decision victory over Jordan Atienza. Hokies up 24-6.